So what's the difference between a residential appraisal and a commercial appraisal? Well, typically under 5 units, 4 units or less, it's considered residential. And a lot of people get kind of thrown off because 5 units or more can be commercial. Just because it's a commercial loan does not necessarily mean that you're buying an office or a retail center or something industrial. That word just kind of throws people off a little bit when they get to it. They're not familiar with it. All commercial loan, as far as apartments go, means that it's 5 units or more, then becomes a commercial loan. And the appraisal processes are different. So on the residential, so 4 units or less, you have pretty much a standard appraisal process. The appraiser is going to come through, they're going to inspect the units, they're going to inspect the property in general, and then they're going to provide a value to the bank by doing their comps and everything else. Now, a commercial appraiser works a little bit differently. Typically, they actually do most of their office work. They run the comps and they run the financials of the property first, and then it's almost a little bit more of a formality to go make sure that the property is in decent shape. Because on a commercial loan, 5 units or more, the bank is more concerned about the numbers of the property, the cash flow of it. They want to make sure that this is a good investment because it's more based on what the numbers are, what the finances are. Buyers care more about the numbers than they care about the actual property itself. Versus residential, it's more about the comps and what everyone else is willing to pay for that. Commercial is more what numbers are people willing to pay for. So they're going to want, sometimes they want more rent roll, they want more history of the finances. They want 2 years sometimes of rents coming through that property to make sure that historically it's been performing up to a certain standard. And once all those financials check out, then they'll send somebody out to the actual property. They'll do an inspection. They'll make sure that the property is at least in decent shape. But for the most part, that's the biggest difference between residential and commercial. Residential appraisals focus more on the comps and what other similar properties sold for. And then commercial is focused way heavier on the financials of the property. How much money does this property make compared to others? They're going to use the financial comps instead of just the regular sale comps of different properties to make their number. And the commercial appraisers usually take a little bit longer because they have a lot more digging to do. They have to pull a lot more financials. It takes longer to get those reports back from the listing agent and the seller, and then they have to put all that together. Then they schedule their inspection. So residential appraisal sometimes takes a week or two, and then commercial appraisers sometimes they're typically more like 2 to 3 weeks or a little bit longer depending on how complicated that is. If it's 18 or 20 units or 30 units, maybe it's going to take even more. If it's just 5 units or 8 units or something like that, then sometimes it's a little bit shorter. But those are the main differences. One focuses on comps, one focuses on finances.